Freddie, you there?
I'm here, yeah.
All right, we'll just pretend Blaine's not here. I accidentally let her in early, so. Hi, Blaine.
How you,
Um,
how you getting on? You all right?
I'm good. I'm good. Getting better every day, Freddie. So yeah, I'll just do a little intro and then you
So
can
what, we're
run a
just gonna get them
little.
to go over their goals, re-anchor it, get them focused on where they want to be, have a little chat with them, see what they've got to say and what they want to do. And
Sounds good to me.
how you get on with your jailhouse? Finished?
Not yet. It's been a lot of work, but it's starting to look good. I came home, but I'll send you some pictures of it when I'm up there.
Hmm, good.
Let's see.
Everyone got the right link. Well,
Think so.
Doreen's here. Nolene's here, so it must be the right link. That's good.
Yeah, I check Facebook and I did get an email. Somebody was asking for it, and then the link came. So, so he's good. Um,
Martin's here. Sound all right?
your sound, yeah, great.
Good. Hi, Nolene.
I'm here.
Hi, Nolene.
Sound
Good
like you've been running.
morning.
Sound like you've been running for a bus.
I feel like I have been.
Hi, Emma.
Hi, good evening.
Lovely to see you.
Thank you.
Nice. Hi, Martin. Good to see you. The weeks go past, don't they? Seems like 5 minutes ago we were here. Hi,
Hi,
Stephen.
Stephen. Hi,
And
Doreen.
suddenly she appears. Hi, Doreen.
Like magic, huh?
Like
Hi,
magic.
guys. Black magic. You can see I'm a white witch, right? Really? Come on.
You just come and go. You're like a spirit. You just disappear and then come and go and fade in and out.
Like the
That would
Northern
be good, huh?
Lights.
Yep.
Hi, Blan. Blan was there and she
Barbara.
disappeared.
Hello, I'm here.
Hiya. Did you enjoy your first lesson yesterday?
Yes, wonderful, wonderful.
Good.
Cool, super cool.
Hi, Marga.
Yeah, I wanted to be up at the. I'm renovating this old jailhouse that I own, a county jailhouse that's now a Airbnb property, and we're renovating it, but I wasn't quite far along enough to walk you guys through it. So maybe I'll post a video of it and put it in the Facebook group. But it's gonna be pretty cool.
Fantastic.
I can't wait to stay there.
Freddie, if you have a mugshot, we could put your mugshot up somewhere.
I do have a mug shot, yeah. Yeah. It's home from home. So where's everyone from? Doreen, you're from Holland, I know. Nolan, you're Madagascar. Oh, no, not Madagascar. What do I always say that. I always get those two places mixed up. You're
Tasmania, Australia.
Tasmania. That's it. Yeah. You're Tasmania. Emma, you're England, aren't you?
Yes, good old Essex.
Out in the sticks.
No, Essex.
Essex. Right. So my hearing's going, my eyesight's going, my hearing's going, everything's going south, I'm afraid.
Don't
Lance
say that,
Island.
Freddie. Your body hears it, you know. Don't say
What?
that.
Where are
Your
you from,
body's
Steve?
listening.
Stephen?
St. Louis, Missouri.
Oh, nice.
Missouri.
Yeah,
Missouri. All right.
yeah.
My brother lives there.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. It's nice and cold here right now.
Yeah, here too. I'm just a couple hours north of you. I'm in Iowa, so.
Ah, yeah. Very cool. Very cool.
How did you find us? Last week was your first call, right?
It was, yeah. No, I think I came across it was several months ago. I don't know if it was on social media, just a thing to subscribe, and I thought it sounded interesting. I subscribed, and so I've been getting a few newsletters, but nothing worked out. And then last week, it just the timing worked out, and then today happened to work out as well. So
Awesome.
it's very interesting. It was a cool experience. So yeah,
Awesome. Well, happy to have you.
yeah, it's a good reset for the new year. So
Yeah, good.
And
Hello, Veronica.
You're a great subject as well, Stephen.
oh, thank
I
you.
could tell, I could tell that too.
You're a magical subject. So,
Wow, okay.
so
I'm looking forward to it again.
I'm glad you're enjoying it. Yeah.
You're a natural.
How about
Marga,
you,
where are
Marga?
you
Where are
from?
you from, Marga?
I'm all the way in the United States, New Mexico, United States.
All right, sounds great. Yeah.
Thank
Well, it sounds warmer than it is here in England. I know that.
It's still pretty cold, and this is my first time to be able to join this live because ordinarily I work at this hour here at this time, but I have the day off, so I jumped on.
Great.
great.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We'll give it a few more minutes here. See, hi, Melissa and Caitlin. Lynn's jumping on.
Hi, Barbara. Nice to see you. What do you think of the glasses, then? This is my new look. Does it make me look more, is it extinguished or distinguished? One of the three, I know that. But at least I can see you now. I think I better take them off again. It was much nicer last week, to be honest.
Everybody, no one had any problems finding the link for this week? Great. I think we put everyone into such a state of action that we're gonna have a small group tonight. They're out there executing. So we'll give you guys a little refresher here and have some fun. Give it a couple more minutes. Let me check and see if anyone needs the link.
While we're waiting for the rest of the people to come in, just for an idea, just give me an idea in the chat box what your definition of success is. What do you think success is for you? You know, because it's different for all of us, isn't it? What would you say? How would your life be if you said, you know, I'm successful? What success mean for you? Just give me an idea in the chat box. Oh, we always kind of think of it in financial terms, but that's not really everything, is it? You know, so let's just have a little think about it and let us know. Happy and fulfilled. That's success, yeah. Okay. I think you always are, Doreen. To me, you always seem like you are your authentic self.
Well, I'm finding out more stuff about myself, and I'm even more wild than I think, but you know,
Well, it's
I'll
great.
leave it at that, okay?
Yeah, well, we heard all about it last week before everyone joined. So
A lot of freedom here. Okay, excellent. All right, well, let's get rolling here. So let's kind of touch base after last week's call. how was everyone feeling? And honestly, we would love some honest feedback if there was something you wish we would have done or something you really liked, because we want to do this every year. And maybe even more often than that, kind of steer you back onto your annual goal. So if there was something from last week that stuck out or that even that you would change, we would love to hear about it. So any feedback related to last week's virtual goal setting retreat, now's the time to share it.
Did you put your hand up, Nolene?
No,
I think you did. You're gonna have to speak now. Put your hand- I'm not taking you to an auction, that's for sure.
Michelle said the part about letting go of 2024. Love that. What else?
Every now and then it was a bit fast. It's like, oh,
Okay. Okay.
yeah,
We did cover a lot.
but maybe I'm slow. That could be.
We did cover a lot. You're not the only person that said that. Someone else said that as well. So, okay, perfect. Was too long and a bit, okay.
You know, I think the thing about, letting go of 24, I think we should be looking at letting go of everything that's not this moment. I know it's difficult, and we all tend to either be living in the past or living in the future. And the reality of it is that neither of those things truly exist, do they? And yet we kind of live our life and we're missing this moment. I just said to Martin, it's hard to imagine that a week's gone by since we were here last time. It's just gone just like that. And that's what I'd love everyone to start to think about, living in this moment and enjoying the moment. I know we've got a plan. I know we've got to protect ourselves and we've got to look after ourselves financially, and we've got a plan to do that. But I think also, look at the things that no longer serve us and just let go of it. And that's what I want to do this evening as well. We're going to be talking about your goals again and getting you focused on where you want to be. But I also want you to start to let go of everything that doesn't serve you. Any anxiety that you're feeling, reminding yourselves that when we're anxious, we're worrying about something that's going to happen in the future, and reminding ourselves the future doesn't exist. It can only be imagined. And if we're worrying about the past, what we could have done or should have done or would have done if things have been different, it's no point. So at some point today, I'm going to bring you back to the moment and get you to really experience being in the present, because there is only the present, isn't it? So I think that, we found it great letting go of 2024, and I'm really pleased you did, Delane. Let's all do that. Sorry, Nick, I jumped in.
No, that was perfect. So I think how many of you get my emails? You read the email about what I did after the call? I know Steven did. So we got off the virtual goal setting retreat, and I went to the gym, and I was sitting in the sauna, and there was this young guy in there, and he was kind of making small talk. I told him I was a hypnotist, and his eyes kind of lit up, and I was like, oh, he's expecting this to work, like it's gonna work, pretty much regardless of what I do. So I led him through a few things, and what I did is I said, what it feels like when you forget something, right? I'm a little embedded command there, but I was just putting him into the state, and I was like, what's it feel like when someone's name is on the tip of your tongue and you just forget it? And he kind of his eyes were looking around, and he was like, oh, I feel like I'm excited, like I'm looking for it, and I get this excited energy. And I was like, oh yeah, and as you feel that energy, you remember what it feels like, don't you? And he's like, yeah. And then he goes, I forgot my cousin's name. And I was kind of just random. And I was like, what? And then I go, that's right. And as you forget your cousin's name, you realize your name's completely gone, isn't it? And then he was like, oh my gosh, my name's gone. And then the other people in the sauna were like, what just happened? So there was 2 other guys in there, and I led all of them through the hand stuck exercise, which I think I've done for some of you, where they're all they think it's going to work, right? Hypnosis is mostly expectation and focus. So I had them put their hands on the bench on the sauna and stare at their finger, and I do some suggestions that their hand's gonna stick. And pretty soon, all three of them are trying to pull their hand off the bench, and their hand stuck. And I said, it's not my finger. Your hand will lift. And so I did that, and I always like to throw in some positive suggestions. So what I said was to this one guy, I said, where else in your life, or no, I say this. Your hand wasn't really stuck, but you had the experience of your hand sticking. And I said, where else in your life are you giving yourself the experience of being stuck when you're not actually stuck? And this guy, like one of the guys just goes, oh shit, my whole life. And so like right when he was in that state, I was like just hammering him with a bunch of positive suggestions. But the point is, when Freddie's whole like create an emotion, give a suggestion, that's all I was doing. I was creating the emotion of what it feels like to forget something. And then it's possible for someone to forget their own name. And if he can forget his own name in 3 minutes of conversation, what can you forget being on these calls every week? What anxieties or insecurities or fears or doubts or hangups can you just completely forget because you set your mind on the things that you want? And so that's what we're here doing every week. And it was kind of fun. It's kind of a neat story. And it was a real experience for them. So Freddie's going to lead you through some processes today and going to clean up and kind of reinforce the things we did last week and put you into that heightened emotional state where you get to make changes and you get to decide what you want and you get to reorient your subconscious mind. So that's what's in store this week. It's great to see all of you again. And big things in store for all of us.
Right. I was running a class yesterday, and we were talking. It was the first module of the diploma course that I run with my son Anthony, and we were talking about hypnosis because there were some people that never done hypnosis before on there, and I was talking about how everything is suggestion. Now we come into the world and we're kind of blank sheet. We've got those drivers that all animals have, but our main drivers are for survival, and that's what we're born with. But apart from that, all of our beliefs are kind of suggested, and depending on where you live and who you live with and who you're brought up by, your beliefs are going to be different, because they've been suggested to you. We don't think of it as suggestion, but that's how it is. And as Nick was saying, if you look at every stuck state, I can't do this, I can't do that, I'll never achieve this. If you look at every stuck state as being suggested, whether self-suggested or suggested by someone else, then like with everything else, we can change. Stephen, who's the most important people in your life?
Me?
You? Nick, perhaps you can just spotlight Steve. Do you mind being spotlighted for a moment?
Sure.
So,
I don't know
can you
if
do that? You don't know. Just
yeah, hold on.
So sorry, you said I asked the question, who are the most important people? And you said you, yeah?
Yeah.
Who are the most
That's-
important people in your life?
My family.
Okay, so who's that consist of? Mum, dad, or?
Yeah, mom, dad, my brother, girlfriend,
What's your girlfriend's name?
Tara.
Okay, I want you to just think about her for a moment.
Okay.
And think about how love you have for each other. You can do it with your eyes open, Steve, but think about, see that smile, feel that love. And I want you to notice as you feel that love that you're stuck in that chair and you can't stand up. And when you realize you're stuck in your chair and you can't stand up, I want you to try and stand up and find that you cannot. And I don't want you to pretend. Try and get out your chair, Stephen, and find you cannot. Put some effort in. Come on, you've been standing up for a long time. Find your stick even tighter. Why can't I get out your chair, Steve? Push even harder. Find your stick even tighter now. And the harder you try and stand up, the heavier you become, and then harder it is to get out of the chair. Well, are you hypnotized? Only chance. Why can't you stand up, Steve? I want you to push your hands on the chair and try and push up. Now your hands are stuck to the chair. Try and pull your hands off the chair. Try and get your hands off the chair and find they're stuck as well. Are you hypnotized? Only chance. Why can't you get up? Why are you in that state? I'm going to say the word love, and of course you better stand up, and you'll feel great because you are great. Okay, love. Notice you're free and you can stand up. Of course you can. Thanks, Steve, for doing that. But I'm just trying to illustrate what Nick was talking about there. Perhaps you can unspotlight him now, Nick, if you would. Oh, yeah. But thanks for doing that. But where is the hypnosis here? And when and the reason for doing that is to illustrate what Nick was talking about, because we're walking around in these stuck states. If you don't believe you can get out of that chair, which for a moment, that's what when. Don't set my. Sorry, I don't know, that sounds like my phone, but sorry about that. I can't turn my phone off. My phone's off, so it must be coming through my computer. Hopefully it'll stop in a minute. But please stop. Good.
Pattern. Perfect
Yeah,
pattern interrupt, Freddie.
Pattern interrupt. But the thing is, the moment, even if it crosses your mind, let's say someone says to me, "Can you hypnotize me?" If I say to somebody, "I'm just going to walk across, I'm going to put my finger on your head, your eyes will close, and you'll go into a deep trance." If that person for a moment even wonders whether that's possible, it's too late. They're going to go in, their eyes are going to close, they're going to go into trance, because that's how our mind works. And throughout our life, people are creating emotion. Sometimes it's joy and it's happiness, or sometimes it's fear. But either way, that's happening all the time. And if that person then suggests that you can't do this, or you'll never get over that, or you'll never achieve that, then it's no different from me saying to Stephen, think about your girlfriend and notice you're stuck in your chair and you can't stand up. There's no difference. We don't see it as hypnosis because we've got our eyes open. Most people think hypnosis is this. At no point did Stephen have his eyes closed. Did you feel like you're hypnotized, Stephen? No. No, and that's what I'm saying. There is no such feeling as a hypnotized state. And so once we understand this, we can start to look at every limitation we have in the same way. And then we can change it. Let me show you all. Let me do this with all of you for a moment. I'd like you all just to place your hands out in front of you like this. And clasp your hands together tightly. Clasp your hands together. Interlock your fingers, cross your thumbs. And pull your hands up where you can see them. And squeeze your hands tightly. And at the same time as squeezing your hands tightly together, pull your index fingers, they're about 1 inch apart. And look at the gap between those fingers. And as you look at the gap and listen to my voice, you're going to feel them starting to pull together like magnets. There they go. And in a moment, they're going to touch. Get a sense of that happening automatically. And when they touch, close your eyes. That's right. Close your eyes. Now think about the people you love, people that love you. Maybe think about the things you want to achieve and how good you're going to feel. And as you feel that love, as you see those faces, every limitation disappears. Every negative limiting belief that was ever placed on you disappears. And as you feel that love, those hands are locking tighter and tighter together. They're super glued together. They are bolted together. They are stuck. Imagine they're carved out of a single piece of oak. And when you realize your hands are stuck and there's nothing you can do about that, you can try and pull them apart and find a stick even tighter. And I don't want you to pretend. Pull even harder, find a stick even tighter. You can open your eyes, look at those hands as they stick even tighter now. Feel that force. Close your eyes. I'm going to say that word, love. Your hands will come unstuck. Your eyes will open. You'll feel incredible. You'll be ready for your next suggestions. Love. Total understanding of just how incredible you are. Once our mind, that's right, Margaret, your hands can come unstuck now, Margaret, you come back. All right, look, once our mind's locked around an idea, then our body's going to carry it out. So I want you to start thinking about any limitations you have in this way. Think, what's that suggested to me? That belief that I have that I can't do this, or I'm never going to achieve that, was that suggested to me, or was it self-suggested? Because we're doing it all the time. If you think about it, our minds are never quiet, are they? They're never quiet. And although we don't think of it in words when we're sleeping, our mind's never really kind of blank. It's always something going on. And so most of the things that come up are of no value. Every now and again, something interesting will pop up, and I conscious mind will grab hold of it and go, okay, let's have a look at this. But otherwise, it's continuous. And so we're talking to ourselves all the time. I don't mean that in a kind of crazy way. We kind of tend to do it with our silently. Don't start doing that at a bus stop because it could be a bit weird. So, but we're giving ourselves suggestions all the time. And once we're aware of that, then we can make sure that the suggestions we're giving ourselves are in our favor. They're for us, as if we're talking to a child that we love or a partner that we love, and telling them, you know, that they can achieve things and that what we want for them, and be our best coach. You know, you've heard me say this, 'cause the people that have been in my group, you've heard me say this a long time. When we're talking about goals and we're talking about what we want to achieve in 2025. But I'll go over it again because I think it's so important. The two questions that our friend, Nick and I have a friend called Sandra Grace. Some of you might know her, but she's a therapist in America. But she asks the two best questions that we can ask ourselves. And if you're a therapist, they're the two best questions you can ask your client when it comes to creating the life we want or achieving the goals we want. And the two questions are these: what has to happen for you to love yourself enough to treat yourself to the health and the life and the love and the happiness that you want? You know, all the things that you wrote down as what you consider to be success. You know, happiness, freedom, joy, all those things. What has to happen for you to love yourself enough? You know, Nick and I have been friends for a while now, and we've been doing this. You know, Nick came to me in July 2023. Was it 23, 24? 23. Forget what year we're in now. And said, you know, he asked me if I'd be part of the ministry. And, you know, I met Nick, I think it was 2000, was it 18 or 19? 19?
I think 19.
Yeah. You know, and every now and again you meet people that you immediately love, you know, it's kind of love at first sight when I saw Nicholas, you know, and so with Nick in my life, the things that I can drag out of myself that I might not do for myself, but because Nick's in business with me and we got this, if you can call this a business, it's hardly a job, is it? But, you know, we're doing this together. I could do things for Nicholas because he's my partner and I want the best for him. You know, and I think when we're talking to ourselves, we should be that coach for ourselves. We should treat ourselves with that kindness. Imagine that, you know, that you were talking to someone you really care about and you want them to be the best they can be. What would you do for that person? What would you say to that person? And then we can get to an understanding of what we should be saying to ourselves, what we should be doing for ourselves. So that question of Sandra's is the most important question that we can ask ourselves. What has to happen? I want you to just think about it for a moment. You know, think about what you wrote in the chat when I asked you what success was for you, or think about what you want to achieve this year, and then ask that question. What has to happen for you to love yourself enough to treat yourself to that freedom or that life or the finances or the career that you want? So I want you to think about it for a moment. What has happened? And then her second question, which is equally as important. You know, as I said, you wrote down in the chat things like, you know, it's freedom and it was happiness and it was joy. You know, her second question is this: if you're not experiencing that now, if you're not living that life now, if not, why not? You know, be honest with yourself. If you're not living the life you truly want, if you haven't got the health you truly want, if you haven't got the body you want, or the money you want, or the career you want, if not, why not? You know, everyone on this call is, I would say, you know, above average intelligence. That's why you're here. You know, there are people who are just sitting watching TV and hoping they're going to get everything they want in life. They're not here. You're here because you want to achieve things in your life. So the chances are you will know the answer to that question. If you're not living that life now, if not, why not? So those are Sandra's questions, and I think they're the most important questions we can ask ourselves to create the life we want. You know, I tagged my 3 questions on, and they're kind of much the same as Sandra's. But my 3 questions this, and I want you to think about this question. What do you want? Forget about, you know, in reality, if this was different, if that was different, but what do you want? You know, when you're on your own in a quiet space and you're thinking about your life, what do you want? So, you know, answer that question. What do you want? And my second question is this: what do you need to do to make that happen? You know, if it's a physical goal, most of us know exactly what we need to do. If we wanted to lose, I don't know, 14 pounds or 20 pounds in weight, we know exactly what we need to do. There's more information now than ever. In fact, it's probably over amount of information on how to create the body we want. And so we know what we need to do. So most of us know what we want, and most of us know what we need to do to make it happen. But my third question is where most of us fall down. And my third question is this: what are you willing to do? What are you willing to do to create the life you truly want? Now, it's tough sometimes, isn't it? Because we get caught up in life, and it's not always easy to just say, I'm going to do this, because there's other people involved sometimes, and there's, you know, people that rely on us, and there's people, all the things that kind of we gather as we go through life. But what are you willing to do to create the life you want? They're the questions we need to ask ourselves. I was watching a program the other day about this guy. He wants to live forever. I don't know if you've seen the guy. He's been on YouTube. Have you seen him, Nick? Yeah.
Yes.
And he's talking about the mind versus the algorithm. And I kind of get what he's saying. You know, we look at a bit of cake and we think, oh, that looks tasty. We don't need it because we're not hungry, but our mind's going, that looks nice. Or that looks tasty. You know, and so we're allowing our mind to run it. He's running by the algorithm. If it doesn't say on the algorithm, this is what he can eat. I mean, the guy's eating 136 pills a day. So I don't know if that's healthy either. And he looks very strange. But, you know, what I'm saying is that he's kind of more robot than human when you ignore the mind, what the mind wants. But to some extent, if we get a balance between that, about what we fancy, what we feel we kind of desire, and the things that are going to get us to where we want to go, then the chances are we're going to achieve what we want to achieve. And that's what I'm talking about here. What do you want? What do you need to do to make it happen? And what are you willing to do to make it happen? You know, how bad did you want it really? I have people come and see me and they want to lose weight. And I say, there's only 2 questions really. How badly do you want to look and feel that good? That's the only question. How bad did you want it? And putting all those negative words out of our mind. You know, I often have people come and they say, look, you know, I've been trying to lose weight for years. I say, well, stop trying. Lose the weight. Here in our world, the word try implies failure. You know, when I said to you all a moment ago, try and pull your hands apart and find that you cannot. I didn't say pull your hands apart. If I'd said that, you'd all pull your hands apart. But you all tried and you all failed. I have clients who can't go to sleep at night. They lay in their bed and they're trying to go to sleep for hours. So I hypnotize them and I say, I want you to try and stay awake for 30 minutes. Give them something else to fail at. and they end up going to sleep within that first 5 minutes because they're trying to stay awake, or they've been trying to go to sleep. Just turn it on its head. You know, so I want you to think about the things that you say, you know, I'll try and do it. Put that out of your mind. The unconscious mind, and I've said this a few times, but the unconscious mind is like a 7-year-old girl. And some of you have been 7-year-old girls. And when you're 7 years old, a 7-year-old girl wants to please you. Can I go to the shops for your mum? Can I do this for your dad? You know, they want to do stuff for you. But the unconscious mind's like a 7-year-old girl. It's like saying, well, here's $20, go to the corner shop and buy some shopping, get some shopping. There's no telling what she'll come back with. You have to be very direct. You say, here's $20, put it in your pocket, go directly to the corner shop, get a cabbage and a tin of beans, go to the counter, give the lady the money, wait for your change, put it in your pocket and come straight back. You have to be very linear with your commands when it comes to giving ourselves suggestions. And I want you to think about it like that. Most of us have what we call woolly goals. I want to earn some money at some point in the future. That's no good. I want to lose some weight at some point in the future. That's no good. It has to be very direct. I want this much money and I want to do it in this much time. And then the unconscious mind is a very clear direction of where you want to go. And it is like an exocet missile. I often say, and I think people think I'm joking when I talk about doing self-hypnosis, I say, be careful what you wish for, because your unconscious mind is going to get it for you. You know, and it doesn't take into any account how much time you're going to have to spend doing that. You know, so you've got to think, okay, how does this fit with my family? How does this fit with my life? Because otherwise you'll just be going headlong into, you know, earning that much money or achieving such and such a goal. So I know it sounds funny, but be careful what you wish for when you're doing self-hypnosis. Think it through. And that's why when we do our future pace today, when I take you out into the future to a point where you've created that life you want, and we step into that body, I'm going to ask you to ask the question, how much fun is this? How much fun can I make it? How important is it for me? Because we can spend years working toward a goal, only to find that when we get it, we're still not happy. You know, I say to clients, if when you step into the future self and it doesn't feel fun or it doesn't feel good, then change your goal now. Don't wait for 3 years or 5 years to achieve it, only to find you're still not happy. And if we know how good we're going to feel, then you'll find that everything about your nature is then inclined toward making it happen, because we want to feel good. You know, it's like our birthright to be happy. And so if we can go out into that future self, think about how you're going to be when you've created that life, feel into it, get a sense of it, then ask that question, how much fun is it? We're going to do it today, and you're going to get the answer to that question. Every one of you have within you all the resources and all the strength and all the natural intelligence you need to create the life you want. And the only thing that will be stopping you is limitations that have been suggested to you. That's the only thing that's going to stop you doing it. And the desire and the will to do whatever it takes. That's the only thing. Because there's nothing. Any one of us in any 2-year period of our life can change our life completely. Just think about it. In 2 years' time, you could be playing a guitar like Eric Clapton. You could be speaking another 2 languages. In any 2 period of your life, 2-year period of your life, you could change your life completely. I often see teenagers and they come and see me, they're 15, 16, 17. And I say to them, what could you not achieve in the next 5 years if you really set your mind to it? I say, it only leaves you at 22. What could you not achieve if we really set our minds on it? I've known, you know, some very successful sports people and business people But sports people, I've known a few world champions, people who are the best at their sport on the planet. And let's think about it. There's 8 billion people on this planet. And these people are the best. There's no one on the planet can run faster or punch harder or whatever it is they did. You know, I think how incredible it is to be a world champion, the best on the planet. But every one of those people have been very, very boring. They have no real social life because from the age of 12 or 13, they've been laser focused on being a world champion at one particular sport. And I'm not saying that's how you should be, but I'm saying that every one of us has the ability to do it. And you've got to just find the reason to do it. Have a big enough reason. It might be a person. You know, for me, I said earlier, you know, for Nick, I can work my socks off for Nick. I want him to be successful. I know his dream for the ministry, and I want him to achieve that dream. And whatever I have to do to make that happen, I'm going to do it. And it's easy for me to do it because I care about Nick. And it's the same. I've got 4 sons, you know, and my oldest boy is now 53. But I remember, you know, when they were little kids, you know, I'd do 3 jobs. I've worked 48 hours non-stop when I was younger to give my kids everything I wanted them to have. You know, and it was easy for me. I never thought I was hard done by because I had these 2 kids that I wanted to have everything. And now I've got 2 younger boys. They're 24 and 22. You know, but for them, I can drag that extra bit out of myself. But if you all have someone like that, you know, it might be your partner, it might be your child, it might just be your business partner, I don't know. But you can find it within yourself. And that's why I'm always talking about unconditional self-love. You know, it's very, very rare, but I've had it where I've asked the clients, like I asked Stephen, you know, who are the people you love? And it's rare but I've had it where someone said, there is no one I love. And there is no one that loves me. You know, and these people have been in a pretty poor state when they tell me that because they haven't cared about themselves. And once I get them into a state of unconditional self-love, their life changes. Because if you have an unconditional self-love, you're never not loved. And I'm not talking about being arrogant, oh, I love myself. I'm talking about wanting for yourself what you want for the people you love, what you'd want for your child, what you want for your partner. That's all I'm talking about here. And then if you were to just give yourself that care, what could you achieve? What could you not achieve if you just loved yourself as much as you love your partner or your child and want for yourself what you want for your child? What could you not drag out of yourself if you could find that energy? You know, I see Andrea's here. I know Andrea's got a son who's doing brilliantly. And I know Andrea. And I know, you know, she's a special, special person. I know her. I know you all are, but I've met Andrea in person. And I know there's nothing she wouldn't do for her boy. And I know that she you know, she achieves great things. And part of that is because she knows, you know, she wants a boy to see her doing it as well. So I want you to think about this. All of you have within you these incredible strengths, incredible abilities. And to get to them, we've just got to let go of everything that no longer serves us. You know, those who've been in this group, you've heard me say it. When we do that hypnosis and I take you out of your physical body, I get you to that point where I get you to that feeling of, excuse me, I've got a sneeze, I think. It's coming. No, it's right. Well, I get you to that point of, it's nearly there. Get you to that point of that feeling of who you truly are, the essence of who you are, which is pure energy, pure intelligence, light and love. That's who you are. You know, think about when you were born and all you wanted to do was be fed, held, loved, looked after. And you didn't, before the world got to you, you know, just pure joy, weren't you? If you've had a child of your own, you know what I'm talking about. Just put pure joy. And that is who you still are at the core of your being. You're just pure intelligence, pure energy, light and love. And anything that's not that is not you. It was learned. And then we can say, okay, I learned that and that serves me. That ability I have to speak and talk and sing and play a musical instrument or type or whatever it is you do, the skills that you have, you can say that serves me. But look at the things that no longer serve you and say that was learnt as well. And if it's learnt, I can unlearn it. I can say that no longer serves me. We don't have to live with any limitations. Just think about that. What would you do if you had no, if you had no limitations? What would you do? And I'm talking about perceived limitations because that's all they are. What would you do? What would you achieve? How would you be tomorrow? How would you be next week? Because that's where we're going to go today. I'm going to get you to that point where we drop all of our limitations, recognize them for what they were. They were suggested to us. Sometimes by caring people, parents that don't want you to feel upset because you haven't achieved something. You know, you're a very sporty girl, but you're not very academic, or you're very academic, you're not very good at sport. You know, that's their belief. And you can say, okay, it might not have been done with malice, but it's still a suggestion. Someone else's opinion. We can go, okay, well, that's fine. People can have an opinion, but I don't have to live with that opinion. So I hope you're getting this. I hope you're understanding that none of this is real. We can decide, and I want you to do it today. Decide, look at the things that no longer serve you and just say, okay, I can choose to imagine that differently. Nothing exists outside of our skull except its perception. Nothing. You know, you're all looking at me. And Marga could describe me to Blan, and Blan could describe me to Caitlin, and Caitlin could describe me to Jasmine. And you could say, yeah, he's a bald man with a goatee beard, and he's got wearing a black shirt. And you know, we'd all think you're looking at the same thing. But if Marga, for one moment, could have Blan's perception of what I look like, or Blan could have Caitlin's, or Caitlin could have Jasmine's, it'd be so vastly different. It'd be like psychedelic, because I don't exist outside of your head except as electrically excitable cells and synapses and all those other things I don't understand. I don't exist outside of your head. Think about it. In fact, I was listening to something today, and they say when an object hits your eyes, it's actually upside down. Our brain turns it back up the right way. It comes to us upside down, if that makes sense. And none of it's real. Linda, is that a finger up, or was that
Yeah.
a nice finger up? Oh, it's okay.
David, they've done experiments, haven't they, where they've put people with glasses that actually turn everything upside down, and after a certain time, the brain just changes it all to the right way up.
Yeah, I mean, that's what's happening all the time anyway. You know, and that's amazing when you think about it. You know, nothing's real. And so we can start to think about it in that way. And what we think is, you know, what one person, they say beauty's in the eye of the beholder. And it is. What's beautiful to someone might not be to someone else. But what I'm saying is we can choose. And we can choose on the basis of, does this belief empower me? Think about it. Most of our beliefs were created before we were 7 years old. Who we think we are, what we think we can or cannot do, what we can or cannot achieve. Most of those beliefs were created by a child under 7. And that's a pretty scary thought. You would not have a boy of 4 making a lifelong decision about what you're capable, or a girl of 5 deciding who you can be. And yet most of your beliefs were created before you were 7 years old. And when we have that understanding, we can go, okay, does that belief empower me or not? If not, I can choose to believe something else because none of it's real. Does this make sense to all of you? And if anybody's got any questions, please ask, because I'm going to hypnotize you all in a moment and you're going to let go of all your limitations. And then it's just a decision of whether you truly want what you've been thinking about. Yeah, Lynn.
What if you can't determine what your beliefs are, what your limiting beliefs are? Because that's what I find difficulty in doing.
Well, the question is this belief empowering me? Is it getting me to where I want to be or not? Is it taking me toward or away from my goals? That's how I see, the simple way of asking whether a belief's got limiting or not. And there's generational beliefs that go down through. How many times have I heard in my therapy room, all the women in my family are big boned. That's one of my favorite excuses for being overweight. I often say, well, you never see these videos of these poor starving kids in Asia and Africa, and there's one, fat kid at the back, and they say, well, he's the big bone one. It just don't make any sense. And yet I've heard it so often. It's a belief that goes down through families, and of course we live that belief, don't we? If that's what we believe, that's what we're going to do. And the worst one that I've heard is that cancer runs in our family. And that's a terrible suggestion to put to your kids and that runs through your family. And you see how powerful your body is over your mind, or your mind is over your body. So we can change our beliefs on the basis, does this belief empower me or not? And if not, believe something else. It's the same when we're worrying about things. Once we understand that if we're worrying and feeling anxious, then we're running a future scenario in our head. And it's got all the things that involved in that scenario, the pictures, the sounds, all of those things. And because we've done it for so long, it comes like instinctive, and we worry and we get upset or anxious. But when we realize that at this point in time, it's just our imagination, it's not real, then we can imagine it differently and see what happens. You can change someone's day, you can change someone's life in a moment. If you have a friend and you speak to them and they say, I'm really anxious, I've got an interview coming up, or I've got this exam coming up and I'm really anxious. And you just say, imagine it differently. Because it's not real. And how you're going to move into the next moment is completely dependent on what you're imagining in this moment. And none of it's complex, honestly, it's not. Once we understand this. Are there any questions before I hypnotize you all and change your life? No? Steve, you all right? Does it all kind of make sense to you? Good. Okay. Well, in a moment, I'm going to hypnotize you. And I'm going to get you to seriously think about what you truly want. Let go of any limitations. And think about what you truly want. What's going to make you happy? What's going to make your heart sing? What's going to get your juices flowing? What's going to get you up in the morning, make you feel great? And I want you to get into think about that. And then I'm going to take you into that future space so that you can feel into it. And then we're going to ask the question when we're in that feeling. And I want you to feel into it, not just picture it, but actually step into that moment, feel into it and ask the question, how much fun is this? How much fun can I make it? How important is it for me? Because once you understand that, honestly, everything about your nature is inclined toward making it happen. Look, Sarah can't wait to get there. Caitlin's already there. You're like hypno junkies, some of you. You can't wait to get into trance. Right, so if you're ready to do this, get ready, because remember, half an hour from now, your life is not going to be the same. So Be prepared. Okay. So when you're ready to do this, take a breath in, hold it for a moment, and as you breathe out, allow your eyes to close, but only as quickly as you are ready to create that life you truly want. That's right. And for a moment, focus on those tiny muscles around your eyes and relax those muscles completely. And get a sense of that happening automatically. Let every word I say relax those muscles even more. That's right. Just relax them so completely they just won't work for a while. And once again, think about the people you love, or think about what you want to achieve. Get a sense of that, get a feeling of that love. And as you feel that love, as you see yourself there creating that life you want, notice that your eyes have relaxed so completely now, they just won't work for a while. And when you realize that your eyes are so relaxed, they just won't work, you can test them, find them completely locked just for a while. That's right, nothing bothers or affects you, nothing disturbs you. I'm going to say the word love, and as you hear that word, that thing of relaxation around your eyes will just flood down through your body like a bliss anesthesia, like a blanket of relaxation wrapping around you. Love. That's right, every muscle, nerve and fiber relaxing. But no matter how relaxed your body and mind become, the chair will support you. Get a sense of that, just dropping down through space and time, down toward a place of total freedom, total bliss. Just for a while, nobody wants anything, no one expects anything. There is nothing for you to do but to listen to my voice. As you begin to relax even more than before, drifting down toward a place of quietness. Place of peaceful inner awareness. A place that almost seems to give off signals that directs awareness down toward it, into it, more and more comfortably, more and more effortlessly, more and more completely and deeply than before. Get a sense of that happening automatically. Where even the effort it takes to be aware of the sound of my voice or the meaning of my words may almost seem to be too much effort to bother making. It's so much easier simply to relax and enjoy that letting go. Allowing events to occur in your own time, in your own way, a drifting down, deeper, deeper, deeper down. That's right. Dropping down through space and time, 10, 20, 100 times deeper. And as you drift into that space, my voice, my words will drift with you to become a part of your experience now. And just when you think you've reached that ultimate space of bliss and profound hypnosis, my voice, my words will take you 10 times deeper. Every word I say doubles that feeling. And everything I say now is your reality. Every suggestion I give you, your mind and body will act upon at a molecular, cellular, neurological level. It's now your reality. You have a conscious mind and an unconscious mind. That unconscious mind, the back of the mind, that instinctive, intuitive part of your being, that's monitoring your heartbeat, that beats the heart, that breathes the breath, that runs that automatic healing ability, that's monitoring the environment, keeping you safe, can continue to hear, understand, and respond to those things I might say without the need for you to do anything at all. It's so much easier for the conscious mind simply to relax and enjoy that letting go. That's right. Letting go even of the effort it takes to make the effort that it might take. To tell the exact position of arms, legs, or the entire body now that seems to drift through time and space. That wonderful free floating place of effortless relaxation and letting go. Allowing events to occur in their own time, in their own ways. You drift as a mind. And that mind drifts without boundaries, without borders, without limits. Allow yourself the pleasure, going out there into the future, to a point where you've achieved the things you want to achieve. Notice the way you move and the way you breathe. Let go of every negative, limiting belief that was ever suggested to you. Every limitation that was ever placed on you, every negative belief that ever held you back. Let it go now. And get a sense of that happening, just dropping away from you. Imagine there's nothing you can do about that. Every limitation's gone and there's nothing you can do about that. See yourself there, having created the life you truly want. Notice the way you move and the way you breathe. Step into that body. Feel into it. Get a sense of it now. How incredible are you? Get a sense of that now. See what you'd see. Feel what you feel when you've created that life you want. Free of every ounce of anxiety and stress. Free of every irrational fear. Free of every limitation that ever held you back. Step into it. Feel into it. See the smiles on the face of the people you love as they see you having achieved that goal. And ask this question: how much fun is this? How much fun can I make it? How important is it? Get a sense of it now. That's right, because now you know how good you're going to feel. Everything about your nature, your mind, your body is inclined toward making it happen. You want to feel good. How incredible are you? You are love. You are loved. You are loving. That's how incredible you are. Feel into it. How incredible are you? And the unconscious mind can allow those changes to occur at an unconscious level, while the conscious mind drifts off someplace else entirely now. That's right, in your own time, in your own way, just floating through space and time. Get a sense of that. Free of all earthly ties, free to be. And in a moment, you're going to have the most incredible experience of liberation and freedom. Because in a moment, the essence of who you are, that intangible part of a human being, some call it the spirit, some call it the soul, I call it the essence. It's going to separate out from your physical body and leave your body in that chair for a while. It'll be the most incredible experience of liberation and freedom. A new understanding of just how incredible you are. Get a sense of it happening, drifting up out through the top of your head, out through what's known as the crown chakra. Get a sense of that. Just drifting up out of your body and leaving your body in that chair. And as you drift away from your body, I want you to look back at that body and I want you to show it some appreciation. How incredible is your body? Because it is the most incredible creation. How incredible are you? It's the most incredible creation in the universe. And as you look at that body in that chair, make a decision to look after that body, to love that body. And as you drift further and further away from your body, get a sense of drifting up out of that building you're in. Drifting up into the sky as light as a feather, leaving all earthly ties behind. Like a helium balloon some young girl has let go of in the park. Just drifting up higher and higher, drifting so high that you can actually look back at this beautiful planet we're living on. We are looking at that beautiful blue planet, spinning through space and time. The whites of the clouds and the mountaintops, the greens of the forest, the blue of the ocean. You may even, if you really concentrate, see the great Chinese wall, 1,000 miles long, or the great barrier reef. How incredible is this planet we're on? And as you look at the planet from way off, notice how your perspective changes. And things that had seemed overwhelming no longer have any power over you at all. Things that had seemed hard or difficult to overcome no longer have any power over you at all. Now in your mind's eye, get a sense of a spinning vortex of light, like a target between you and that beautiful planet. Get a sense of that spinning vortex of lights. And in the center of that spinning vortex is the most incredible, wonderful feeling of unconditional self-love, confidence, self-belief. And in a moment, I'm going to make this sound. And as I make that sound, you're going to get sucked into that spinning vortex of light. And your mind and body will be flooded with the most intense, wonderful feeling of unconditional love, confidence, self-esteem, self-belief. And I want you to know you are worthy of those feelings because you are love. And you are loved and you are loving. And notice that the essence of who you are is pure energy, pure intelligence, light and love. That's who you are. So get ready. As you hear that sound, you're going to get sucked into that spinning vortex of light. It's going to be the most intense, wonderful feeling. Get ready. And now you're in that space. Feel your mind and body being flooded with those wonderful feelings of love, confidence, self-esteem. Feel your body and mind being flooded with those feelings. How incredible are you? You are loved, you are loved, you are loving. And notice as your body's flooded with that feeling of unconditional love, that every doubt that was ever placed on you, every negative suggestion ever held you back has gone from your mind and body, because it cannot coexist in your body and mind with that feeling of love. That's right. You are loved, you are loved, and you are loving. And as you drift in that wonderful space, once again, allow yourself the pleasure of going out into that end state where you've achieved that outcome and you've created the life you want. See that smile on your face. Notice the way you move and the way you breathe. Step into it once again and feel that feeling. Notice how incredible you are. And feel it now. Because from today, no matter how hard you try, you will never experience those doubts, irrational fears, and limiting beliefs again. The harder you try and remember what it felt like to doubt yourself, the more confident, the stronger you become. Imagine that's happened and there's nothing you can do about it. And you're going to take this feeling into everything you do, because you are love and you are loved and you are loving. How incredible are you? You are the most incredible creation. And as you drift in that space, free of every limitation, the harder you try and remember what it felt like to doubt yourself, further away it goes. That's right. And it may be interesting to know that in that drifting state of mind, where thoughts drift by like dreams, some enter the mind, some drift through the mind, some are left behind to be used later on, others are remembered or seem to be remembered at first, but then become more and more distant, forgotten over time. As the unconscious mind protects the conscious mind. So it's your privilege. Use this experience. Think about the things you can do. The strengths, the skills, the love you may have overlooked before that will allow you a clear view of the possibilities of a new way of living, a new way of being. Take that time now, a brief time, seems to be a long time. Review, plan at some level of awareness the things you're going to do later on, things you're going to achieve later on as you use more and more of you. Feel that feeling of freedom now. Only when the unconscious mind knows and has made the changes and allows the conscious mind accept the changes made. Because in a moment I'm going to count to 10. Every suggestion I've given you, your mind and body will act upon. On 8, your eyes will open and you will feel incredible because you are incredible. And on 10, that feeling of unconditional self-love, that steely determination to create the life you truly want, is going to grow stronger day by day. And you will absolutely know that you are worthy of that feeling of unconditional self-love. So get ready. 1, feeling wonderful. 2, to create that life you want and do it fearlessly. 3, a feeling of freedom from every limiting belief that was ever suggested to you. 4, feel the force of that energy and self-love flooding through your body and mind, filling you up. 5, feeling incredibly alive now. 6, 7, 8, eyes opening, feeling absolutely incredible. 9, 10. Back in the Zoom. Okay. Hi, Sarah. Lovely to see you. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Jasmine. I know I've said hello to you. Diana, good to see you. Well, I hope you enjoyed the experience. Take this feeling. Know you are worthy of it into everything you do. And from now on, ask the question. If ever a niggly doubt comes into your mind, just think, when was that suggested to me? I can choose to believe something else. That's right, Blan. Blan's nodding. She's got it. Good. All right, I hope you enjoyed it all. Great to see you all. Hope 2025 is going, we're in, what is it, 19th, 18th today? It's going quick, isn't it? So I'm glad you enjoyed it, Doreen.
15th today.
Sorry?
It's the 16th, isn't it, today?
Yeah, see that. I'm always living in the future. I have no
Back to the
idea
present,
what day
Freddie.
it is. I
Back
have
to
no
the
idea
present.
what day it is, what hour it is, or anything. I'm just in that space, drifting through space and time. Okay. Good to see you, Dakota. Lovely to see you all. Okay. Well, look, any questions before we go? Otherwise, I'm going to say good night to you, say good afternoon to you, wherever you are in the world. Good morning. You all okay? You're ready to go? You're ready to move? Keep moving towards where you want to be, creating that life you want, and knowing you are worthy of it. Knowing you are worth doing it for?
Freddie, I want to make a comment. I know, and then we'll get to Lynn. So I send out emails every week with a 1 hour warning to jump on these. And I've gotten messages from a few of you that you're not getting them. And when I go look in my system, it looks like it's sending it to you. So I'm not sure where they're going. If you have an issue with that, let me know. But I also want to remind you that the week's link is always in the course area. So tonight's link was the same as last week. I always put the updated link. So if you log into if you don't get the email for whatever reason, and you log into the course area, that link's always going to be the one that I most recently posted. So next week's call is going to be the same link, and we're doing the project planning guide. So if any of you signed up just for the 2025 virtual goal setting retreat, that's also included. So you can log on to that. We'll finally get to this planning workbook. And again, same link as last time. So if you have access to it, just plug it in your calendar. But I will send an email out. If you're not getting it, send me a message and I'll check my system and see why. If not, maybe first check your spam. So Lynn, yes, you had your hand up.
Yeah, it was just the comment I made earlier about it being too long last week. I didn't mean too long. I meant too late. Because over here, it's 10 o'clock at night, which is really, but it went on longer than that. I caught
It
up.
was 2 hours last week, wasn't it? I think that's
Yeah,
why.
it was over 2 hours. It was
It
over
was
2
over 2
hours.
hours. Okay.
That's what I meant.
I had the
Just to
same
let you
problem.
know, I didn't mean too long.
I had the
too
same
late.
problem, Lynn. You know, my carers from the home I'm in, they normally take me away at 10 o'clock. They were here in their white coats, ready to take me away, and I wasn't ready. So I know what it feels like.
Mine collected me.
So I did have a comment I want to mention from Sarah. Oh, so Sarah asked if you could touch on ruminating thoughts. And so Sarah, I want to mention two things that came to mind. One is if you have a part of you that has ruminating thoughts, you may work directly with that part and find out what its positive intention is. And we can do this on another call, but again, those parts always have a positive intention. I was on the phone with a friend who's a hypnotist, and she said she can't lose weight and she's seen all these people to help her. And I said, well, did you do parts work? She says, yeah, we did parts work. And I said, well, what was that part's positive intention? And she stopped for a moment and she was like, oh shit, I don't know. Because it was like that part of her that's keeping her heavy is doing something for her. The part of you that's putting ruminating thoughts that's doing something. You just have to redirect it and find out what it wants and find another way to meet that need. And the other thing is when you slow your brain waves down in trance, like Sarah, do you have ruminating thoughts when you're in trance here?
No, like in meditation, I will definitely, but
Okay.
not so much in trance. No, not really.
Okay, so it's different goals. Meditation, you're more opening your focus to observe those thoughts and let them out. Hypnosis is more of a focused state where you're so focused those thoughts don't come in. But either way, as your brainwaves slow down, you can dissociate from those thoughts and be the observer of them. And then when your brainwaves keep slowing down, they just kind of seem to disappear. At least that's my experience. But so if you
So
train
I should
yourself,
just stay in hypnosis 24/7.
yeah, there you go. If you train yourself to observe a thought come up, and instead of narrowing your focus on it, what you want to do is you want to open your focus into like, what do I feel on the bottom of my feet? What do my fingertips feel like? As you're observing that thought, what blessings do I have in my life? And what happens is those different neural networks of your brain connect to that thought and it can push it off, or it becomes much more minuscule versus when you focus on it, it becomes all of your consciousness. Does that help?
Yeah, it's mostly right now related to my divorce. So it's mostly like going back and retelling stories. And it's like, oh, it's just frustrating because I'm really moving forward and like in the physical, but then those ruminating thoughts come back. And they're just annoying, really,
Well,
at
you
this
know,
point.
a friend of mine in Australia, her name's Lisa Derwin. She's a hypnotherapist. She's really cool. And she's got this way of dealing with kind of any kind of thoughts that are no longer serve her. And bear in mind she's Australian, so you'll understand when I say how she deals with it. Whenever a ruminating thought comes in or a negative thought comes in, she just says this, that's bullshit. And then she just keeps, so I'd ask you, Sarah,
Okay.
for the next week, just whenever a ruminating thought, just say that's bullshit. And then
Do I have to say it in an Australian accent though?
it's more fun in an Australian accent, or you can say it in a London gangster accent. That's bullshit. Whatever way you want to say it, whatever accent you want to say it in, but just it'll shut it down. It'll probably make you laugh. Even if it makes you smile when you say it, it's going to change your state. And it can't have the same effect on you.
Yeah.
Years ago, I used to say to people, when that voice is in your head, turn it into Donald Duck's voice, that criticizing voice. See how bad it is then. It's not going to affect you in the same way as if that, the other voice. So there are ways of just changing our state in that moment. So I just say to you, I think Lisa's idea, I do it all the time. A stupid thought comes in, I say, that's bullshit. And then I'll move on. And I think it might just try it for a week, and see what happens. And it will just give up on you. Bothering to say it to her because she keeps telling me it's bullshit, and I know there's no point. And then you'll see what happens. Okay.
All right, I'll give it a shot. Thanks.
Sarah, the last thing for you, if you haven't done a very massive and thorough forgiveness protocol going through a divorce, that would probably be the place to start.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of Ho'oponopono work.
Okay.
I've been studying that for a decade. That's where I'm at, is in that phase. So yeah, that's really aligned with what I'm doing. And it's fucking hard because ultimately you're forgiving yourself first and foremost, right? It's much easier to forgive the other person, but it's forgiving me. So I think that's where the rumination is coming into. It's just being hard on myself. But
well, I forgive you, Sarah. So that's it. So don't worry about anything else. You're forgiven. You won't feel it anymore. I know because I've spoken to you. It's the right thing to do. So stop doing all that ruminating and just go, okay, you had to do it. And so, that just move on from it. Doreen, you got a hand up?
Yeah, first of all, it's an hour later here in the Netherlands. So last week, it was a bit late. But so another thing is that sometimes I have a hard time logging into the membership area. So are you supposed to become a member? Are you supposed to put that button, click that button, and then you get a code or something?
You are a member, so you should, and it's a little confusing, but if you go into that membership page, it's just ministryofthemind.org/community, and it will take you to the login page, and you can click sign in with a password and then set up an account. If you don't want to do that, you can click the get a magic link, and it will email you a link, and that link will take you right into the course. But once you set up a password, you should be always able to go in there and just put that password in and get in. Does that help at all?
Europe doesn't really like ClickFunnels, so that's why we're having a harder time.
Oh, I see. I didn't.
One time it's different, and then last week I got a text message with a code. I never had that before, so yeah, it is interesting. But
yeah, so that's not something I've set up. That's like weird ClickFunnels thing. Then I'm not exactly sure. I might look into that because Jasmine, I had no idea that was a.
At least it's the same for me. So Doreen and I are under the same protection umbrella. So
and
then there are people harassing me to help them sign in.
Okay, I can see. Let me look into that a little bit because I want to make sure that's easy to access for everybody.
I mean, after the goal setting, you can just keep the same link and we just put it in the calendar. So then the issue is solved, at least for that.
Okay. Blaine?
Yeah, I always go in with the magic link that you emailed. That's what I do.
Okay. And
Really
that
quick,
seems to work.
easy.
Okay.
Thanks.
And Carmen gets the prize for the best hat tonight. She wins that prize. Beautiful hat she's wearing. Cat hat. Beautiful.
Oh.
It's a
What?
raccoon, actually.
It's a raccoon.
It's a raccoon.
Oh, raccoon. All right, yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah. Yeah,
I
well,
have
you get a
matching gloves.
you get I'll send a prize later. The best
Oh,
cat.
thank you.
I hope you've enjoyed it all this evening. You know, take this and you know, and tap into it. Know that you have it. Remind yourself when if your mind starts to think, you know, anything negative, bring yourself back to this moment here together and say, you know, I am love, I am loved, and I am loving. And tap into that feeling. You know, there's a little mantra that I created, and going by what Sarah was saying about I can never say it, Ho'oponopono, whatever it is. Anyway, I can never say the word. But anyway, I went to I ran some training in India with my son Anthony, and when we go abroad, we travel all over the world doing this training. We have this little competition to see who can learn as much of the language before we get there. So sometimes it's only like 6 weeks or a month before. So we're going to India, and he didn't tell me we were going, so he had a head start on the language learning, right? So anyway, so it sneaked up on us. So I said to a friend, I said, Anthony's been learning this language, learning Hindi, and you know, and I don't know any. He said, well, look, all you need is the greeting, which is Namaste. And I said, well, what's it mean? He said, it means I recognize the God within you, which I think is a really lovely greeting, but I'm not a religious person. So I know you change one letter in that and it becomes, I recognize the good within you. So when we work with the students, I said, look, all of you, I want you to take a couple of minutes before you start speaking, just to look at your partner until you can see the good within them, because we all have it within us. Anyway, we had grown men crying because no one's really looked at them and thought of them in that way before. So that was in my mind. And I teach my students, when we sit down with our clients or we sit down with a group, to run this little thought in our mind: I care about you and I want you to be well. Right? So you can say it, but I'm always going to hold it in my heart when I'm working with all of you or I'm working with a client. Just that little loop: I care about you and I want you to be well. So these things are going through in my mind. And so I put it together, and you can all use this little mantra in the morning. And you 2 minutes, spend 2 minutes doing it. And what you do is you say this, and you aim it at yourself: I recognize the good within you. Thank you. I care about you and I want you to be well. And just aim those words at yourself. Okay? I recognize the good within you. Thank you. I care about you and I want you to be well. And if you do that with some box breathing as well, like 6 seconds in, 6 seconds out, and do that for 2 minutes in the morning, I promise your day will change. Do it for a week, your life will change. So I hope that helps you. Only because Sarah was saying about the Ho'oponopono, whatever it is anyway.
I think the way you say it is Ho'oponopono.
All right, okay.
Wyatt, but I'm not even sure.
That sounds much better than the way I've been saying it. That's way sexier. I like that.
All right, okay, we're going to say goodnight because I know it's getting late. But, take this feeling we have together here, take it in everything you do, understand that you are love and you are loved and you are loving, and the essence of who you are is pure energy, light and love. That's who you are. And you think it's not that, it's not you. And anyone who tries to convince you that it's not you, you know better now, okay?
Freddie, I have one comment I want to address when you're done, and then we can say goodbye.
Yeah, I'm done, yeah.
All right. So we did an event a few years ago called Resonance, and Caitlin was there, and she left a comment here that says, I feel like an entirely different person than who I was first at the Resonance retreat. So you guys all know the power of hypnosis to really bring out what's like your truest, most authentic self, and to release those patterns that are stopping you. So Caitlin, if you would, I don't know, just tell people what you were like before and after and what your experience was like, just because I want them to have an idea about, the power of the mind to create those changes.
Oh my God. I was so much in my head. My nervous system was in so much, not fight or flight, just like so bottled up. And I didn't even want to go. Like I had signed up and then I pulled back, and then I ended up there and was so grateful because within the first day, my energy, like my throat chakra opened up, and I was singing with my roommate who I hadn't met before, or I didn't know. And oh my God, like, I mean, day after day, there was transformation. On the final day, I went and I said, I'm going to learn how to dive. We were at a cenote, and I had never dove before. And there's this huge cliff. And I just started asking the guys like tips for how to dive. And I failed horribly, like terribly twice. And the third one, I think it was Nick, came and just had me visualize the end state and the feeling and all of it. And I started dancing and getting in the energy, and I had the most perfect dive. I mean, to me, it felt perfect, but it was a deep transformation within, like my energy being really opened up and my mindset around my power, like what's possible, just my potential. Like I knew it all. I feel like I knew it before that, but I didn't know it like in the cells. Like I didn't know it in my body. And so when I was seeing the changes that I was making so fast, it allowed me to continue making changes fast. I moved to Mexico. I used to I was in jeans all the time, like pants. I didn't wear dresses. I couldn't stand them. Now I'm in dresses, like dresses and skirts is all I wear. My voice has continued to open up. Like I can sing a high pitch. I actually love singing. I started playing the guitar. I did, I become certified in breath work, just like one thing after another. And it started in large part, the energy work started with resonance. So I like entirely, just so
And
grateful.
she didn't learn to dive on like a little dock into the water. She was jumping off a cliff. I just want to mention that. Like not afraid to like belly flop from like the second story cliff. It was pretty impressive. But yeah, it's fun. I haven't done it for a couple years because I've been dealing with my own stuff, but I just take people through different energy states in 4 days of stacking it. It gets pretty powerful. So
What about one in Las Vegas?
yeah, we this summer.
Yeah.
I don't think Las Vegas would be the place. We'll have to talk about it, but
Yeah, I mean, you did it there before, but it
we
wasn't the
did
same.
it. Yeah, no, the energy's too stiff in Las Vegas. It's different, but anyway, we'll keep you posted. But got some things to do before we're looking at retreats, but that's what I want to do. So anyway, thank you for sharing, Caitlin. And Utah, Arizona. Yeah, we did the first one in Arizona. It was in Sedona. So all right, that's all we got this week. Thanks, Freddie, for that process, and great to see everyone. If you have any issues, send me a message. I try the best I can, but I'm still learning some of this stuff. So as far as the back end tech stuff. So all right. See you next week.
Lovely to see you all.
Bye.
See you again
Thank you,
soon.
Freddie. Thank you, Nick.
Bye. Thank
Take care,
you.
everybody.
Bye, bye everyone.
Bye, everyone.